Today, we shall learn about the nomenclature of organic compounds containing functional group. AN when we use, they can never be the prefix, they are always the suffix, and it is the primary suffix. Carboxylic acid is having the highest priority, so it will always be the suffix. Here I have CH3 group on the benzene ring, we call it as methyl benzene or toluene. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 3 on the chapter Organic Chemistry, some basic principles and techniques. Last class we studied about the trivial system of naming an organic compound. We also studied about the IUPAC naming and we learnt about the straight chain hydrocarbon naming. Also we learnt about the branch chain alkanes nomenclature. Today we shall learn about the nomenclature of organic compounds containing functional group. The rules for numbering as well as to pick the longest parent carbon chain remains the same, but then while numbering you have to take care that if there is a functional group, the carbon atom to which the functional group is attached should get the lowest number, and if there are double bonds and triple bonds between the carbon atoms, that should be included in the longest parent chain. Okay, so I'll just take an example and explain how are we going to number and what is the exact suffix which you need to add for which type of functional group. For example, here I have CH2, CH3, OH. When OH is present, I get to know it is alcohol. Okay, and always remember functional group, only when one functional group is present, it is the secondary suffix. So in IUPAC name, we have different parts: prefix, root word, primary suffix and the secondary suffix. Here it's a straight chain, so there is no prefix which is there. Root word tells us about the number of carbon atoms. Now while numbering, this carbon atom gets 1 and this carbon atom gets 2 number. I cannot write 1 and 2 because the carbon atom to which the OH group is attached or the functional group is attached should get the lowest possible number. Okay, so this root word is eth, and between the carbon atoms there are no double bonds, so it is AN. E I have to write if there was no functional group, but there is a functional group, so this E is dropped out and instead of that suffix for alcohol is added, and the suffix for alcohol is OL. So the name will become ethanol. So this is the IUPAC name of C2H5OH. Okay. Now next one, I have a straight chain with OH group and I also have carbon-carbon double bond. As it is only single straight chain is present, so I have to just number it and I have to take care that the carbon atom to which the functional group is attached should get the lowest number, not the one with the double bond. That is because the functional group is there. Whenever the functional group is there, the functional group gets the highest priority. So the carbon atom to which the OH is attached should get the lowest possible number. So I have to number like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. If I number it this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, it is getting 3. So this will be wrong. 2 is smaller than 3. So this way of numbering is correct. Now, what is the root word? It is but, correct? And there is a double bond which is present between the third and the fourth carbon atom. So, third, En. E I am not writing because I have a functional group, and to which carbon atom the functional group is attached? To the second. So I have to write 2OL. So this is the IUPAC name. One more way of writing is this 3 I can write in beginning. I can write it as 3-butene 2-ol. Okay, so either of way I can write the IUPAC name. It's very important to write the carbon atom to which the double bond is there, and also to write the number of the carbon atom to which the alcohol group is present. Okay, now here one more example I've taken of CH3CHO. CHO group. This group is called as aldehyde group, and when aldehyde group is present, the suffix is al. Okay, and also if the functional group itself has got a carbon atom, see the functional group itself has got a carbon atom, even that has to be numbered and it should get the lowest possible number. So this will be 1, 2. Okay, and the root word is eth, no carbon carbon double bond, so an. And for the first carbon atom only is the aldehyde group, so I need not write 1. If no number is written, it is understood it is the first carbon atom, so it is ethanol. This is the IUPAC name of this particular compound. Now you might ask me, ma'am, how do I know that OH is alcohol, CHO group is aldehyde? For that you need to know the table, and this is the table which you need to know. I have just included the most important organic compounds names, okay, the structure and the suffix and the prefix. Okay, so if alkene is there, carbon carbon double bond will be there, suffix is ene. Alkyne is there, carbon carbon triple bond will be there, and the suffix is yne. The alkene and alkyne and the carbon carbon single bond an, when we use, they can never be the prefix, they are always the suffix, and it is the primary suffix what is there. Okay, next if halides are present, that is chlorine, bromine or iodine or fluorine, then it is always a prefix, and halo, that is if it is chlorine, chloro, bromine, bromo, iodo or fluoro can be used as the prefix. If alcohols are there, then it will have OH group, and if it is a suffix, it is OL, and if it is a prefix, it is hydroxy. Now, you might ask me, ma'am, when will I know it is a prefix and when will I know it is a suffix? See, when there are one functional group, only one functional group in an organic compound, then the functional group is always the suffix. Now, if there are more than one functional group, then we have to see the priority chart, and the lower priority one will become the prefix and the higher priority one will become the suffix. So, I will explain about that with examples. For now, you should know when it is a suffix, it is what is the name, and when it's a prefix, what is the name. Now, if aldehydes are there, it is CHO group will be present, suffix is Al, prefix is oxo or formyl. Okay. Ketone is there, C double bond O will be there, the suffix is ONE, prefix is OXO, oxo. Nitriles are there, it is carbon nitrogen triple bond will be there, and it's called as nitrile, and if it's a prefix, it is cyano. Okay. Ethers are present, then ROR dash, always it is a prefix with alkoxy, alkyl group with oxygen, it becomes the prefix. Carboxylic acid is there, it contains COOH group, oic acid is the suffix, and carboxy is the prefix it is used. Carboxylate ion is COO minus ion, O8 we use. Esters also COOR, so here also we use O8. Amines, NH2 group will be there, so it is amine, or when it is a prefix, it is amino. If it's an amide, CONH2 group will be there, amide or carbamoyl. Okay, so that's about some of the prefixes and the suffixes of functional groups which you need to know. Okay, so I'll take some of the examples and explain so that it's easy for you all to understand how to write the IUPAC naming. Okay, so the first one we have here is COOH group. If COOH group is present, it is carboxylic acid, and the suffix is oic acid, and the carbon atom of the functional group also has to number, so 1, 2. So the root word is ethan, that is eth with an, carbon-carbon single bond is there. Oic acid is the secondary suffix. Okay. Same way, you have here another COOH group, same carboxylic acid group, it is oic acid, but I have only one carbon atom. So the root word is meth and oic acid. So it is methanoic acid. Okay. Then we have one functional group, that is CHO group. So it is 1, 2, 3. I can take this 4 or this 4. It is the same longest chain which you're going to get. Third carbon atom has the CH3 group. Now this is the prefix. Correct? So I have to write 3-methyl. Correct? What is the root word? But. All carbon-carbon single bonds. So an. And only first carbon atom only is the aldehyde. So I just write it as al. Okay. So it is 3-methyl butanol. Okay. Now one more I'll take here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might ask me, ma'am, why not the other way? 1, 2, 3, if I do, the OH group has got first priority. It has get the lowest possible number. So this way of numbering is correct. Okay. So again, this will be, this is the prefix, this is the suffix. So this is the functional group which goes as the suffix. So obviously 3-methyl, again 4 carbon atoms, but, and all carbon-carbon single bond, but to the second carbon atom OH is there. So 2 all I have to write. Okay. So it is 3-methyl butan 2 all. Now the next one, if you see, I can number it 2 ways, and this is the functional group. So if I start numbering from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or this is 5. Correct? Now the fourth carbon atom has got the CH3 group. Whereas if I number the other way around, I'll get it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This way of numbering is correct and the other one is wrong. Why? Because see, either of the way carbon atom to which the functional group carbon atom is going to get the number 3. So the branching can get the lowest number. Correct? So this will be 2-methyl pent. Okay, all carbon-carbon single bonds, and third carbon atom ketone, ONE is the suffix. Okay, so it is 2-methyl pentan 3-one. Here you can see some branch chain hydrocarbons, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, it is the same. So it is 2-methyl propane. There is no functional group. So you are ending with the primary suffix and E is there. Okay. Here if you see, you have triple bond, but there is no functional group. Now you have to keep in mind that the carbon-carbon triple bond, that carbon atom has to get the lowest number. So this can be 1, 2, 3. I can take this as 4, this as 4 or this as 4. Anything, the longest chain is the 4 carbon atoms. Third carbon atom has got 2-methyl group. So what will be the name? I'll write it as 3, 3 dimethyl but 1 ine. Why ine? Because the first carbon atom and the second carbon atom has got the carbon-carbon triple bond. Okay. So this is the correct way of writing the names. So I hope you have understood or got the gist about the IUPAC naming with one functional group and the branch chain hydrocarbon. Okay. Now if you see, if there are more functional groups, that is not one functional group, 2 or 3, or usually it is 2 functional groups which can be present. So if there are 2 functional groups, how do we name, or what I have to know? I have to know the priority list. Okay, this is the priority list, the order of decreasing priority for some functional groups. That means Carboxylic acid is having the highest priority. So it will always be the suffix. It can never be the prefix. Next is SO3H, then COR, then COCl, CONH2, CN, CHO, that aldehyde, then comes ketone, then comes alcohol, amine, then carbon-carbon double bond, then carbon-carbon triple bond. Now, the lesser priority one goes as the prefix. The higher priority one comes as the suffix. Always remember, when it is bifunctional group, bifunctional groups are present, the one with lower priority is prefix. Higher priority goes as the suffix. That is the secondary suffix. Okay. So here if you see, I have a ketone group and an alcohol group. Now I'll see the list which has got highest priority. Ketone has got higher priority, alcohol has got the less priority. So when alcohol is the one which is having less priority, what it should be? It should be the prefix. And when OH is the prefix, what is the name which I have to use? When OH is the prefix, we use it hydroxy. Correct? Now when I number also, the one with the higher priority should get the lowest number. So I'll start numbering from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I number other way, this will get 3. That's the highest number. So that will be wrong. So here what will I write the name as? Now this is the prefix. So it is 3, third carbon atom OH is there. So 3 hydroxy bute and 2 one. Why ketone? ONE. Butane I am using because all carbon-carbon single bond is there. So I hope you have understood. One more example I shall take. I have an aldehyde group and a ketone group. So the higher priority is for aldehyde, then for ketone. So this has got first priority, this has got second priority. So this goes as the prefix. Correct? So when it is going as a prefix, the word which you need to use is oxo. Okay? And this one is al for aldehyde. So how will I number now? I'll have to start from here because this has got highest priority. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 4 oxo pent an. Okay? 1 al I can write, or I can write it as 4 oxo pentanal. When I am not writing any number, it is understood it is the first carbon atom. So I hope you have understood when there are bifunctional groups, how do you have to name it. Okay. So more examples as we are learning organic chemistry, it will come. That time I'll explain every IUPAC naming wherever it is required. Okay. So that's about the IUPAC name with the functional groups. Next you have nomenclature of substituted benzene compounds. So here in the IUPAC nomenclature, when the benzene is substituted, then it goes as a prefix to the word benzene. Now what is benzene? Benzene is got CH, 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 6 CH groups with alternating double bond. This is benzene. Now, one of the hydrogen atom, if it is removed and substituted with something else, then we call them as substituted benzene. Okay. So, the substituted group, that name goes before the word benzene in IUPAC name. Okay. Or if there is in trivial name, they use the word ortho, meta, para for the prefixes for the relative positions. Now, what is the position? For example, now there are two substituents. They are next to one another. So, they are called as ortho, or we use the numbering 1, 2. Okay. Now, they are one position away. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3. So, 1, 3, or this is called as the meta position. Okay. When they are exactly placed opposite to one another, they are called as para or 1, 2, 3, 4. So first and the fourth position, so 1, 4. So in IUPAC naming, it is 1, 2 or 1, 3, 1, 4. That is the relative positions of the two substituents which we use. Okay. Or if they are next to one another in trivial system, ortho, or we use meta. When they are opposite to one another, we use para word. Okay. So how do we name? I'll just explain about some of the compounds. Here I have some examples of the compounds with the substituent, single substituent, and how can we name them. I have the IUPAC name as well as the common names which is accepted by the IUPAC as the IUPAC name. Okay. For example, here I have CH3 group on the benzene ring. We call it as methyl benzene or toluene. Here I have OCH3. This is CH3. Me is nothing but CH3, methyl group. Okay. So we call it as anisole or methoxybenzene. Here I have amino group on benzene. We call it as aniline or aminobenzene. Okay. I have NO2 group. So we call it as nitrobenzene. Bromine. So it is bromobenzene. Similarly, we have benzoic acid. COH group is directly attached to the benzene ring. We call it as benzoic acid. If SO3H is attached, then benzene sulfonic acid. If CHO group, it is benzaldehyde. OH group means it is phenol or hydroxybenzene I can use. Okay. So here again NH2, it is aniline, and OCH3 I told you already, anisole, and CH3 it's also called as toluene. Okay. So these are some of the single substituted benzene rings in which I have given the IUPAC name or the common name which is also accepted by IUPAC. Here when there are two substituents, how to name them? See, I have 1 and 2. Both are bromine. So this is 1, this is 2 position. So the name of the compound according to IUPAC will be 1, 2 dibromobenzene, because two bromine atoms are present in first position and the second position. So it is 1, 2, 2 bromine. So it is dibromobenzene. Similarly, here 1, 2, 3, first and third position. So it is 1, 3 dibromobenzene. Again 1, 2, 3, 4. So fourth and the first position. So 1, 4 dibromobenzene. Okay. Here you have many substituents. 3 substituents are there. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 1 chloro, 2, 4 dinitrobenzene, because 2 are same groups. We use the word dinitro there, and we use 2, 4 dinitrobenzene. Similarly, here if I have to number, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is again 2 chloro, alphabetical order, 1 methyl, 4 nitrobenzene. So when I am writing the prefixes, I have to write it alphabetical order. Okay, that's about the naming of the substituted benzene compounds. You do not have completely in detail here. You just have to know some of the compounds so that you will understand your naming as we are doing the organic chemistry chapters. Okay. Next is about the isomerism. Now, what is isomerism? Two or more compounds having same molecular formula but different physical and chemical properties. Then we call them as isomers. So the molecular formula will be same, but their difference in physical and chemical properties tell them there is some difference in them, and such compounds whose molecular formula is same but physical chemical properties are different, we call them as isomers, and the phenomena is called as isomerism. Okay, and isomerism is of broadly classified as two types: structural and stereoisomerism. Structural isomerism is further classified as chain isomerism, position, functional, and metamerism, and stereoisomerism is classified as geometrical and optical isomerism. Now, what is structural isomerism? As the word tells, there is a difference in the structure. Okay, then we call them as structural isomerism. Okay, there are 4 types. I'll go into details of each one of them. Stereoisomerism means there is a difference in 3-dimensional arrangement of the groups around the central atom. Okay, so three-dimensionally, if you see, only the difference is there. Structure, when I write, it will be different, but three-dimensional arrangement will be different. Because of that, we can get two more types, that is geometrical and optical isomerism. More detail about this you will be studying in your hydrocarbons chapter, and it's not there over here in this chapter. But of course, you're going to learn about the structural isomers here. So we'll see about the structural isomerism. The compounds having same molecular formula but different structures are called as structural isomers. As I told you all, structure only is different, molecular formula is same. For example, first one is chain isomerism. Now, when two or more compounds have same molecular formula but different carbon skeleton are called as chain isomers. Example we can take pentane. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon atoms all in the straight chain is there. Okay. Or I can also write it is C5. H how many are there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 hydrogen atoms are there. Okay. Here if you see, I have 5 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 is present as the side chain. But if you see the molecular formula, it is C5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So hydrogen is again 12. But arrangement, you see, this is straight chain 5 carbon atoms. Here straight chain or the long chain is only 4 carbon atoms. 1 is present as the side chain. Same way, you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon atoms are there. But hydrogen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, it is C5H12. So all of them molecular formula, you see, it is the same. But the structural arrangement, how the particle or how the carbon atoms are having the long chain, that is different. Here the long chain is 5 carbon atoms, here the long chain is 4 carbon atoms, and here the long chain is only 3 carbon atoms. But all of them have the same molecular formula. Such isomers we call them as chain isomerism. Okay. Next is position isomerism. Now, what is position isomerism? As it is told, there is a change in position. Position of what? It can be a functional group or it can be a carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, or a triple bond, anything, but the position is different. So compounds which have same structure of carbon chain but differ in the position of the double or triple bond or the functional group are called as position isomerism. Okay, now for example, I have 1, 2, 3, here also 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon atom chain, but here the OH group is attached to the first carbon atom. Here the OH group is attached to the second carbon atom. So there is a change in position of what? The functional group. Okay. So this is propan 1 all I will write. This is propan 2 all I will write the name. Correct? Similarly, I can give you some more examples. CH3, CH, double bond, CH, CH3. Okay. Now, for this one more isomer I will write. It is CH2 double bond, CH single bond, CH2, CH3. So, both are 4 carbon atoms, C4. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, H8. Here also 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 are there. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. The carbon-carbon bond is between second and third. Here 1, 2, 3, 4 between 1 and 2. So the position of the double bond is changing here. So again it is position isomerism. So I hope you are able to follow. Next type of isomerism is functional isomerism. Here they have same molecular formula, but when I write the molecule structure, I can write it in two different ways to have two different functional groups only. Okay. So see here, compounds have same molecular formula, but different functional groups are called as functional isomers, and the phenomenon is called as functional isomerism. For example, you see, I have 1, 2, 3. C3, H3 plus 3, 6 and 1 oxygen. So this one, if I write it as CH3, C double bond O, CH3, it is ketone group is present. Correct? So 3 carbon atoms, prop, an, on. So propanone. Okay. Similarly here if you see 3 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3. Okay, hydrogen, if you see 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1 oxygen is there. So molecular formula, you see, it is the same, but I have an aldehyde group here, so it is propanal. Al comes there. Same way I can give you one more, that is C2H6O. Okay, now I'll write this as CH3 CH2OH. One more way of writing is CH3OCH3. Both of these compounds, you see, carbon atoms are 2, hydrogen atoms are 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 3, 6. Oxygen is 1. But here this is an alcohol, here this is an ether. So the functional groups are different. So they have same molecular formula but different functional groups. We call them as functional isomers. Okay. Next and the last one is metamerism. So now what is metamerism? It is due to the presence of different alkyl groups on the either side of the functional group of the molecule. Now for example, C4H10O. Okay. Now C4H10, it's an ether, I can write. Ether contains O with 2 alkyl groups. So I can write it as C2H5, one alkyl group, one more alkyl group as another C2H5, or I can write it in a different way. Ether only, same functional group, but here I write CH3 and here I write C3H7, that is one methyl group and one propyl group. So what is happening is, on the either side of the functional group, I have different alkyl chain. Here there is one type of alkyl chain. Here there is a different type of alkyl chain which is present. So if it is like this, then we call it as metamerism. Okay. So these are some of the types of isomerism which we have learnt. What is it? Chain isomerism, position isomerism, functional isomerism and metamerism. Okay. So next class, I'll be starting with fundamental concepts in organic reaction mechanisms. Okay. So I hope you have understood today's class. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.